The man was too busy chatting with his wife while driving. The next second, once the car finally stopped, the couple jumped out to see what happened, but there was absolutely nothing under the car. John guessed they probably just hit a deer. He thought his wife was just exhausted and imagined the whole thing. But Ellie was certain. She knew she had seen a little girl.
Just keep looking!
For what? What are we looking for? There's nothing here. Hello?
The evidence said otherwise, and John simply couldn't believe her. With no other choice, they drove away. Soon they arrived at their new home. It was a 100-year-old mansion. It looked old and run down. It had cost John every penny he had. As they carried their bags inside, Ellie suddenly spotted a strange woman standing at the front door. She asked who the woman was. Before the woman could answer, John looked confused and asked who she was talking to. Ellie turned to explain, but when she looked back, the woman had completely vanished. Ellie instantly felt uneasy. Still, she tried not to think too much about it. What she didn't know was that the nightmare was only beginning. That night, Ellie was boiling water in the kitchen. Suddenly, a strange knocking sound came from the living room. She carefully walked over to check. It turned out the window wasn't fully closed. After making sure no one was outside, she reached over and shut the window. But the moment she turned around, the knocking started again. Ellie freaked out and ran straight back to the bedroom. She told her husband everything that had happened. John rushed over to check, but when he reached the window, there was nothing there. He thought Ellie was imagining things again. After all, they lived on the 10th floor. There was no way a woman could be standing outside the window. Was it really just exhaustion playing tricks on her? The next day, Ellie decided to turn everything into her novel. As soon as she sat down, a small ball rolled to her feet. She picked it up in confusion. It had rolled over while the dog was playing. She tossed it back, but it accidentally rolled under the table. The dog couldn't reach it, so Ellie got down to grab it herself. That's when she unexpectedly found an old photo album.
Patricia!
The girl in the photo album was the exact same girl she had seen on moving day. Ellie immediately called John and asked him to come home, but when she handed him the photo album, John just looked at her with a helpless expression, because the girl in the photo looked nothing like the one Ellie described. Ellie completely froze. How could the girl in the photo suddenly have a different face? After everything that had happened, Ellie became convinced this house was hiding a dark secret. But when she shared her suspicions with John, he still refused to believe her. That night, Ellie went out into the yard by herself. Suddenly, a strange sound echoed through the darkness. The dog instantly ran toward the noise. Afraid something might happen to the dog, Ellie grabbed an axe and chased after it. Then her flashlight suddenly started flickering. A pair of eerie eyes appeared in the dark. Ellie instantly freaked out and screamed. But once she looked closer, it was only a young deer. She finally let out a sigh of relief. After going back inside, Ellie made herself a cup of coffee. She stood by the window and tried to calm herself down. Maybe all of this was just her exhausted mind playing tricks on her. But the second she turned around, the mysterious woman appeared again.
What are you doing in my house?
Ellie suddenly jolted awake. Thankfully, it had only been a dream. Still shaken, she got up to grab some water. Then footsteps suddenly echoed outside her room. A shadowy figure darted past the doorway. Confused, Ellie stepped out to investigate. She saw a yellow ribbon slowly being pulled into the closet. The closet door suddenly swung open by itself. Ellie pushed the clothes aside. There was nothing inside except a wall. Then she heard an old-fashioned tune coming from behind the wall.
Use your words, Patricia.
Ow!
It turned out everything before that had been another dream. She climbed back into bed, but something even stranger happened. A real burn mark had appeared on her arm. The next morning, she told John about the house again. She said the burn was proof, but John stubbornly insisted she had simply burned herself by accident. Seeing that her husband didn't believe her, Ellie stopped trying to explain. Just then the doorbell rang. She hurried to answer it. It was her daughter and one of her classmates. But when Ellie invited the girl inside, the girl suddenly looked terrified.
It's getting closer. It's reached out.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
It senses your weakness.
Okay, gotcha. Jake, let's
Do
go.
not give in.
Okay, Jake, now! Have a good day at school.
Please don't ignore this.
The girl's strange words only made Ellie more certain she was right. She told John again that something was seriously wrong with the house, but John still thought she was overreacting. Right in the middle of their argument, the closet door suddenly slammed shut by itself. Both of them froze, then quickly opened the closet to check. There was nothing inside except clothes. Then John noticed the name Daisy carved into the doorframe. It was clearly left behind by the previous owner. He then noticed the closet hinge had come loose. The door had simply swung shut because it was off balance. It looked like nothing more than a false alarm. John said he'd fix it later. The next day, Ellie came home from shopping. As soon as she walked in, she saw the dog tugging on a yellow ribbon. It looked like someone was pulling the other end. Just as she stepped closer, she suddenly woke up at her desk. It had all been another nightmare. The stress from writing had been dragging her into endless nightmares. To clear her mind, Ellie decided to play a word game, but while she was moving the letters around, the letters suddenly started moving on their own. Curious, Ellie rearranged them. They spelled out a message. "Who is Daisy?" The moment she saw that name, Ellie immediately remembered the carving on the closet. She rushed over to check. She found a tiny hidden hole in the wall. That same eerie old tune started playing behind the wall again. Driven by curiosity, Ellie slowly moved closer to the wall.
Good news, Patricia. You're not crazy.
Maybe the scariest thing was never the house itself, but the way it slowly shattered everything she believed. When reality and illusion become impossible to tell apart, can you still trust your own eyes? Follow for part 2 and let's uncover the rest of this story.